This brief video is intended to help you learn how to access the resource called Bible Backgrounds Commentary for the Old Testament. Along the way, we will also show you how to locate the InterVarsity Press dictionary set. The starting point that you might want to use is simply the Ashland University homepage, ashland.edu. Upper left menu, Academics. Lower center, Library. Lower left, under Quick Links, Seminary Library. Here's the seminary web page for the library. I would encourage you to bookmark this page. Scroll down until you come to the center heading Let's Research. Second bullet is eBook Resources. This is the ATS eBook Resources. We just clicked on that. On the left, the purple tabs, click on the second one, which reads Religious Studies Reference. This shows you the very valuable InterVarsity Press Dictionary series. These are reference quality resources, full text. These are arranged topically. These are not arranged according to Bible book and chapter. And next, let's go to the Old Testament Commentaries and Academic Works tab in the purple tabs on the left, the fourth one down. By default, this should open to the tab labeled General, and I'm referring to the tabs which otherwise give Old Testament Bible book names, such as Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus. Stay with General. Scroll down, and one of the options you are offered is IVP, Bible Background Commentary. This is the one that one of the ones we're interested in. If we click on that, it will open to us the beginning of that resource, and now you can see there are Bible book names. I'll enlarge that a little bit. We can go to individual Bible books and look up historical information according to Bible book and chapter. For example, if you're studying on Psalms and you want to study historical insights about Psalm 1, we'll click on Psalms. And now we are brought to the end of Job, and scroll down, there's Psalms. Before we are presented information about Psalm 1, we're given some background information to the Psalms generally. Keep scrolling down. Here it is. Psalm 1, there's a note on verse 5, a couple of notes on verse 5. Next, let's learn how to cite this online resource. In the left, scroll up to the top, then click on the blue lettering Detailed Record. In the right column, click on the word Cite. Notice the heading Citation Format, and we're offered an ABNT format, an AMA 11th edition format. Within that field, we'll want to scroll down. Scroll down until you come to the Chicago 17th edition. This is the format that you'll want to use for footnotes. You can just capture this, copy it, and paste. One other piece of information, actually two, that you'll want to use for your seminary papers. If the resource provides page numbers, then include the page number in your footnote just as you would a hard copy. This happens to be one resource that does provide that. We'll go back and point that out in just a moment. The second piece of information you'll want to add is the date of access. So whatever is the particular day on the calendar when you access the material, add that. So date of access should be added, and also the page number. Otherwise, the information that you see for the Chicago is just fine. I do notice that it is underhung, that is to say the second line is indented. You'll not want to retain that particular stylistic feature. In other words, the second line where it says com.proxy, that should come out to the left margin in your footnote. What about bibliography? Let's scroll down a little bit farther. Notice that we're moving from Harvard references to Chicago 17th bibliography. So here is a bibliographic format. Once again, with this, you would want to add the date of access. In the bibliography, you will not need to include the page number. One difference for the seminary style versus the Chicago style is in the bibliography is that we will alphabetize by author's last name. So instead of John heading this entry, the last name Walton, comma, John would be the way to present it. Now we've returned to that page displaying information concerning Psalm 1. If you look at the bottom center of the page, you'll see 518. That's an actual physical page number, and I presume it corresponds to the hard copy. That's what you'd want to include in your footnote citation. We'll scroll up and you'll see that's actually visible here in the digitized page. So what we're looking at here is the top of page 518. That's the page where this information on chapter 1, Psalm 1, is included, so you would want to include it. Not all resources provide page number. If the resource you're working with does not provide page number, you're not responsible for that information in the footnote of a digitized resource. Since we're on the topic of how to properly cite resources, let's notice how to do that for resources such as the InterVarsity Press Dictionary series. Let's take a look once again at a resource that will help us with something like the Book of Psalms. The particular volume addressing that would be IVP Dictionary Series, Dictionary of the Old Testament, Wisdom, Poetry, and Writings. Clicking on that link will bring us to a table of contents. Notice that this is alphabetical, not by book, chapter, and verse. Let's suppose that we want to explore what they say about David and his things that he may have contributed or contact with the Book of Psalms. Notice this volume is not restricted to Psalms, but it's poetry, wisdom, and writings, and that includes the Psalms. Here's an article that deals with various subtopics, all related to David. If we're wanting to cite this, towards the top, you'll notice that there are some links, one of which is citation. Let's see what this offers us. The pop-up gives us 4 formats. Chicago will be one that will serve us best. Let's click on that. It's telling us that this particular contribution to this resource was written by a scholar whose first name began with the initial T, last name is Rata. T, perhaps Tim or Tabitha. I'm not sure who this individual is, but T. Rata. Incidentally, what's provided for us here is last name first. That's a bibliography format. That's not a footnote format. Footnote format begins with first name first. Bibliography format begins with last name first. So you can still use this for a footnote, but you'll need to correct it. That is, resequence it so that your footnote reads T period Rata, comma, and then the article name you'll see is in quotes, just as if it had been a journal article. The other distinguishing features about this presentation, which tell us its bibliographic format, is it's a sequence of sentences. Not very good grammar sentences, but they're separated, information separated by periods. Change that for your footnote so that the information is separated by a comma. So your footnote should read T. Rata, comma, David, in quotes, comma, in the IVP, and so forth. edited by, with separated by commas. And then when we get to the information of the press, University Press is located at Downers Grove, Illinois. Then we'd follow with the publisher, university, and the year. We'll need to add the date of access. This resource does not give us page numbers, so we're not responsible for that information. It will be important that you practice accessing quality reference works like the two that have been illustrated here. If you have difficulty getting through to them, please call the seminary library and ask them to walk you through the process.